I don't know, folks. I truly don't. Like, I'm really enjoying this piece of DLC. I think it's really interesting. It's got great environments. It's got great bosses so far, except for that shit one. But there's just parts of it where I don't get it. And this is one of them. There is a ridiculous amount of stuff between whatever I'm meant to be finding in this place, and this place does not work on the laws of the game. These knights do not aggro at those ranges. It's just not how it works. I have farmed the Iron Keep for hundreds of hours. I know this, and this place is working very differently. And I just want to run. But it's a terrible idea, and the music's just gone. Or the ambient sound, I should say, not maybe the music. Because there probably never was any music, it's just all in my head. And I need to kill this thing, don't I, else it's not going to let me past. And I should have probably had my other weapon on. Oh my goodness, this is awful! And I'm maybe going to survive it. Oh, they're so fast. And I'm not running because I've got the stamina penalty. It's not out of Delusions of Grandeur. Where did you come from? Did he come from there? He was just really fast and maybe ran past me. Yeah, I'm going to put the Drake Keeper one on. It's more powerful than this one. But still, this is a pretty big gamble, because I refuse to kill all them enemies again. It's just boring. It's boring for you, it's boring for me. I hope there's a bonfire, but there isn't. It's that simple. I wish, but I know. You might be saying, how do you know, Chris? Well, look at all the other memories. They were memories for a reason. They were isolated events that had no bonfires. And I'm getting the suspicion now there's a big boss at the end of this. And if it's anything in line with the other bosses, it's probably going to be a tough one. Which just further proves the whole extinction thing I mentioned. Oh, shit. I think I'm wearing the Chloranthy ring, I can't remember. Yeah, I've got the stamina. You've never got enough stamina. Have you noticed that? You've never got enough. You think you have, you just totally don't. You just never do. You never do. And I've got the stamina penalty, so... I've just realised, there is a lot of people in this room. What is this game? I don't get this. I don't have words. And there's a boss fog. After that. Why? Why would they do this? Jesus Christ, this looks great. Is this really what we're doing after that? Seriously, bro? Oh, he's fast. Oh, he's really fast. And he's got multi-hits. I'm calling it. I'm saying it right now. Why wasn't it just... You enter the memory and you're in that room, that really cool looking room. What is the purpose of that shit before it? This is horrible. Truly, truly horrible. Because I don't think I can do that run consistently. And that boss looks like it's going to be really hard. Why would they do this? This is kind of kills the fun. And it's two examples of it now. It's these. Whenever you see these, it means that they just didn't care about what came next. Because every single time we've seen these, we've been in very linear paths that have been stacked full of enemies. For no other reason than because they can. And the problem is, because of the time, I can't stop recording, kill everything till they don't come back, so I've got a clean run, and then continue to record and see if we can fight this boss. Because it'll just be too late then, and I'll not be able to do it. So we'll do it the slow way. And we'll have a see what this boss does. Because he looks great. He looks really cool. It's just this. And if you're wondering how I got hit by the blade, I went to evade early because of poor timing. And I did the thing where I press B. Whoa. But because I don't want to roll, I kind of hold B. And then quickly press it again, which results in... And that's what I did. I jumped into the blade. Which looks like it's quite a damaging move as well. But this is two parts of the DLC now where there's bosses I would like to fight, but there are gauntlets before them that I really just don't want to do. And I wish I could sound happier about that fact, but it's just true. Like, I really enjoyed fighting Ilana and fighting... Oh, that was bad. I'm going to die here. Yeah. I really enjoyed fighting Sin as well, because Sin was directly by the bonfire, and I didn't have the bonfire at the time for Ilana, but once I found that other one, it made the run back a lot less painful, and I got quite into those fights. I had to do extinction runs on the Cave of the Dead, on that entire corridor before it, because it was too stupid, really. A little bit like this. And I enjoyed the gank squad, I just never enjoyed that place. But luckily enough, I got through it quite quickly on the blind playthrough, so you didn't have to see this part now, this run back and run back and run back. And I've been watching a couple of playthroughs on New Game. Like, I watch a guy called Rurakan, who is a Portuguese content maker, and he's probably one of the best in Portugal, because I don't know how big the scene is there, but he's a really professional, interesting guy to watch, and he does a lot of Dark Souls stuff. And he did his first DLC playthrough in the Covenant of the Champions, or whatever it's called, the Company of Champions. And halfway through he had to swap out of it because it was too hard, which I thought was quite funny. And I wondered if he was going to do the second one on Covenant of Champions, but he didn't. And he didn't for a good reason, because the last one had taught him that maybe it can be a bad idea. And I dread to think what this one would have been like for him, because he's using a really spongy build. His sponge is as buildy as mine. His build, sorry, is as spongy as mine is, because he's like an S-stock, fast-moving kind of character. I couldn't tell where he was coming from, if you're wondering what I did then. I knew he was somewhere because he keeps ambushing me, but I didn't know where. Is that a leash? Or is it just bad pathing? Yeah, I think it might be it. A leash! Whoa! How did he do that? I wish I had a more interesting weapon to use. Let's put this one on for a while. It's exactly the same, but it's maybe a little bit different to stare at. Like, it's one of those things where I'd love to bring a novelty weapon here and play around with that to make the videos more entertaining, but how many times would I die then? Because everything is really high life, very high damage, and this durability thing is no joke. I could die there. Isn't it interesting? Before he couldn't aim it at me, and that time he managed to. I wonder what was different. Maybe it's because I was directly in front of his little home. But just a word to people watching. Do you like these massive corridors of... Like, I need to come up with something, because the word gauntlet is a little bit misleading. I think the reason why people throw around the term gauntlet is because if you ever played the original game... Well, obviously, the gauntlet is... It comes from a turn of phrase, doesn't it, of challenge. Of a test, essentially. But I think in gaming, it's probably a reference to the game Gauntlet, which was endless, I think. It just continued. It was almost procedurally generated before that term was even known. And you essentially went through a bazillion levels that were the same thing, just jumbled in a different order, and you did the exact same thing every single time. It's kind of all you did. And I know that's selling it short, because Gauntlet was a very awesome game back in the day, back when it came out. So it's essentially the notion of knowing that you're facing a predictable situation of challenge, I guess. Might be one way of putting it. But what it makes me think of is... Is it 1-5? Boletaria? It makes me think of that. It makes me think of the run back to Allant. So regardless of your feelings, it's quintessentially Dark Souls, to coin the phrase that Vendrick was using, or quintessentially Souls, because Demon Souls did it. Dark Souls no doubt did it, but maybe to a lesser degree. Maybe the Kiln, you could call that a bit of a gauntlet. But the one in Boletaria, if you've never played that game, Boletaria is almost the most friendly arena in the game, because it's awesome looking, it's really inviting, and it's the first exposure to the game you get. So it gives you this illusion of strength, which you do not have really. And then when you go back to it later on, it is so much harder than it was at the beginning, because it gets a massive boost up once you get an Arc Soul, or whatever they're called, once you slay an Archdemon. And then from that point onwards, it's just batshit crazy. And there's 2 dragons that guard it, who, if you don't know how to get rid of them, and even when you do, they can be a nightmare to get rid of. They guard it and dish out instant kills, pretty much. Then there's a ton of Red Eyes Knights. Then there's this triple squad of Phantoms and normal enemies who you've been killing the entire game, only now they take off more life than you can imagine they ever possibly could. It's a bad spot to be in. And it's all before the slowest elevator outside of the Mass Effect universe. I should really swing earlier, because this guy... I did not mean to jump, and now I'm dead. Oh, thank goodness for his leash. Ho. Wow. It shifts so quickly, man. That could have been it. Could have been it. And then when you get to the top of an incredibly slow elevator, you have arguably the most intimidating looking fighting encounter in the game, because he is this larger-than-life humanoid who is just as fast as you, just as strong as you, if not stronger, and he has the ability to steal your soul level. And he's awesome. Like the guy who we saw at the end of this big gauntlet of fellas. But I always think the reason that I didn't play Alant as much as I would have was because of the bullshit before him. And I honestly believe that. And I know I'm not alone in that thought. What the fuck just happened? I just got double shot by his... Who the hell did that? He did it. Oh, it must be him who's... Yeah, it's him. Is it me or does he not have a bow in his hand? He just fired an arrow with an invisible bow. What? What? You don't have a bow, dude. Stop cheating. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we've got some strange aggro in this room. Some strange aggro in this dream. What is going on? What are you doing, son? Very strange. This guy's got a sword, so at least we know exactly what he's going to do. You noticed this katana as well? It almost looks like a different version of the black steel. It seems cleaner. It doesn't look like it's got any black steel on it at all. It could be a white steel katana. I wonder what items are in this lower pit. Oh! Not my proudest moment. I really should buy poison arrows. Are you going to come or are you just going to keep firing shit at me? No, you're going to keep firing stuff at me. Yeah, why come for me when you've got that huge bow? Oh yeah, and there's trouble. I wish I could keep him in a stagger. That'd be nice. Just keep hitting him in the face. Somebody left a really amusing comment saying, fight cheese with cheese. And I couldn't agree more with that person. But there's this elitism with Dark Souls where, you know, when you're not beating everything with your bare hands and using your feet to control your character at soul level 1, not wearing armour, that you're somehow cheating yourself. Or cheating the game. And I do think there are opportunities and moments in Dark Souls where you can be cheating the game. Like if your first encounter against a boss is using a phantom or summoning people in to help you win, that to me you're losing some of the magic of Dark Souls, of the intimidation and the destruction of what happens in these bosses. But it's all choice at the end of the day, that stuff. But when people get on at you because you're using what your build is or you're using your strength, it just seems kind of strange, because the whole point of any RPG is to play it your way. It'd be as redundant as getting on at people for shooting dudes in Call of Duty. Like, what's the fucking point? We all know what this is. We're all aware of it. Why does it have to be under such scrutiny? So they have no aggro range and he... Sorry, they have shit tons of aggro and he doesn't. For a second there I thought he was going to stay standing. That's how tough these reds are. Right then. We'll use this. I'm super tempted to put a katana on. I really am. Should we use the big sword for a little bit? I'm really tempted to. Yeah, we'll use this. We've got 6 Estises. I do like the crunch of those big ones. 6 Estus, lots of life gems, and some aromatic ooze. I have no idea what... I can hear something. Sounds like somebody's mending the bike. I wonder if he starts sitting down all the time. Do you know what this boss reminds me of? It reminds me of Murai from Ninja Gaiden. He looks cool as shit. Whoa, he's too... I did not think he would do that. He's really... I should be dead. Wow! That is fast. Did not expect so much speed from somebody's... So it would seem he can do it after any combo, maybe. Any combo, he can do the quick lunge. Interesting. That is lethal. Very lethal. But I'm going to end it there, folks, and what's going to happen is I'm going to have to call it for today. There's nothing else I can do. I refuse to bore people by me going back through that corridor of dudes. I'm just going to clear everything out, and then tomorrow we'll pick it back up, and we will beat... what was his name? I didn't even see the name. He killed me so fast. Whoever Mr. Armour and Sword belonged to will take him out. So thank you very much for watching, and you take care.